Peace, family. I got me and my brother, Minister Dawud, on the line. We actually was having a conversation before the conversations.
Word up.
You got caught up. But peace to everybody in the chat room. Let me see who's in the chat room. Hold on. Ah, Robin, the girl wonder, Fatty Black. Peace.
Peace and love, y'all.
Yeah. And Belle Thanos is in the house.
Our sister.
She actually changed her name. I'm like, cool.
I love Hungry. That's our sister.
Oh
Word
yeah,
up.
definitely. Definitely. Oh, did you get that 10 question survey I sent out?
I think that earlier today I was working. But I did get it. Yes.
Yeah, please fill that out because we trying to get this New York hangout going.
Right.
This
I
New
might be
York meet
there,
and greet.
son. I may be there as early as next week because my brother's turning 50, and I got
Hmm.
to come down there for his little fiasco. So, um, I'll let you know. But when I come down there, me, you, Mac, and at the very least, Big Brother R, we got to
Hmm.
go out to the restaurant. That shit's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
Neo, of course. But anyway,
Hmm.
brothers and sisters, peace and love. This is your good brother, Brother Minister Dawud, and my brother from another mother, Brother Holipsism, and we
Oh
are
boy,
having.
here we go.
Yeah, go ahead and answer that. I'll talk. You know how
Yeah.
we do. So anyway, what you call it? A little while ago, before BAIO's membership increased, and before we have, me and Brother Holip would talk to each other randomly, like I got off work or he got off work or whatever, and it would be some really high powered discussions. So I said, yo, you know what? I said I'm used to doing a dynamic show. You're used to doing a dynamic show, and I think that sometimes that gets in the way of us going live and doing shows. How about I go and schedule some time on Blog Talk every Wednesday, and we do a show called a Conversation with Mr. Hollister. And he said, that's great. The problem is we never got around to it. And then when we did decide what day we was going to do, which was Wednesday, Blog Talk started acting funny. But the silver lining in the cloud, if you want to call it that, is that nobody's messing with really Blog Talk anymore anyway, and that everything is on YouTube. So therefore, that paved the way for us to once again have a conversation, and we're going to try to do it every Wednesday night. But we labeled it a conversation with Brother Minister Dawood and with Mr. Holishouser. So anyway, before Holland gets back on the phone, because he's a busy man, and I'm at a laundromat actually that I put in a time lock on, and it works. God damn, it works. Anyway, what you call it? So I'm actually at one of my customers shops, and when I say customer, my personal customer. But BAIO, BAIO, and what we stand for, BAIO and the latest issues. Me and Brother Hollis is just in the process of talking about how sometimes people who may want to join an organization, and for lack of a better description, a better word, it's looked at as a black power organization. But at the same time, you may be starting to become successful in your industry or your business in America. When you do so, there are some people who, if they are not necessarily working for themselves, may want to, I guess, I want to say hide their identity. So, in other words, like you come on social media, some come on Facebook, some come on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and they have like,
I'm back.
oh, okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, so they have an avatar, and they are, for instance, um, the Grand Bell Thanos, or Captain America Black Willie, or whatever the hell you want to call yourself. And nobody knows who you really are. So by daytime, you could be trying to be out there getting money, doing what you do, and then by nighttime, you switch, dun dun dun, you put your cape on, and you become Black African Power Guy. And I did a show a while ago, which I'm going to do a part two, and it's called To Be in America. It was called 13 Shades of Gray. And the premise of it was to be successful and be in America, you must turn gray. Now, for those of you not familiar with Nation of Islam terminology, we say that the word Negro means neutral. It means neither this nor that. So Negro is gray. And so therefore, what me and Holip was talking about is sometimes we feel like certain people that used to be hardcore. Well, I feel like certain people who used to be hardcore with the nationalist philosophy may have begun to become successful, and because of that, they may be afraid that their identity would be figured out and that they wouldn't be that successful anymore because they would be labeled as a hater, you know what I'm saying, a nationalist or whatever. And to me, it's not I don't understand you. It's not that I don't understand you. Understand what I'm saying is that I do understand you, but doesn't that give more of a credence to what we stand for as the Black African Infrastructure Organization? So, in other words, you're saying that you want a nation within a nation, and you're saying that you want to be able to do it right here. But all signs point to the fact that when you try to do it right here, you cannot be successful really in commerce being pro-black because even white people are being dragged on social media and they losing jobs. And you know how y'all do today. Y'all find out somebody's job, y'all find out what their address through social media, and y'all say, keep sharing this until the person loses their job. Well, the same thing, niggas, is going to happen to you one day. And when it does happen to you, when white folks decide they want to turn that same blade on you, many of us will begin to try to turn gray. So with that, I don't want to be here like preaching, but I guess I want to get your view on that, big brother.
Mm. I love your alley-oops, boy. I love them.
You know how we do.
Yeah. You know, like basically, I think that what's missing, like, and sure my sister Ashley W would concur with me because she's been talking about this lately. Why can't people just be honest?
Right. Right.
Just be honest. You know, like I'm willing to accept anything just as long as I know what time it is.
Exactly.
Because that's the way I roll.
Exactly.
Like if and I've had situations where I can't, like people have started projects, right? And they wanted me to be a part
Mhm.
of the project. And I told them straight
Right.
up, I'm saying, listen, this is your passion. The worst thing I would do, I have to do, is get involved in somebody's passion at 50%.
Right.
You know, if I can't give you 100%, why would I even be involved? That's because that's going to disrespect you because you're 100% in.
Right. Right.
You know, so I was honest. I said, listen, I can't do it because if I can't do it 100%, I'm not going to just give you 50 when you can get somebody in there that can give you 100.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, so
Yep.
it's basically just about honesty, and honesty is something people have a really difficult time dealing with. There's something that you can you check your email while we on this?
Let me see.
I sent something to your Yahoo. It's
Uh,
something that really annoyed me so much that I want to address it, and I was contemplating whether I should address it on this show, but I think it's worth addressing on this show
hold on.
because it's
Okay.
something
So.
that I want to ask people because maybe sometimes when you're involved in something you're not objective.
Yep.
So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not communicating properly what
What
the
the?
principles of the BAIO is.
Yo, hold up. I almost said the F word for the. Well, no. I guess I
I'm
won't say
quite
it for the
sure I
first
know
time.
what sentence you read too.
Who is this that did this?
I'm not even gonna tell who it is. I'll tell you offline who it is. The exactly who it is. But
What the?
it's one sentence in particular. I started answering this and I was at work. I was so amped because of it. I started answering it when I was at work.
I know who this is, yo.
Yeah,
I know who this is.
yeah, I know. And I couldn't really answer. I answered a good portion of it, but I couldn't answer the entire thing. And I was
What?
thinking about whether I should do my responses and replies on this show. You think I should do it?
Nah, nah. But then again, you know what? I'm conflicted on that because, okay, so can I go into it a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so brothers and sisters, listen. first of all, I just got to keep it all the way effed up with y'all. And love tuna. Perioso with spaghetti sauce on that shit. And so therefore, it is not that I am running around after every pair of legs, tits, and ass that's out there in the world or anything like that. But nevertheless, I am that. We are all that, most of us. However,
Wait,
I
before you go on, brother, can the people in the chat
do
room
not.
hear Minister Dawud? Can you hear him? Yes or no? Just type in a yes or a no. Because your voice is coming in low on my end.
Oh, my bad. What they saying?
They're not saying anything yet.
Oh, it must
Oh,
be a
okay.
delay.
Yeah, they can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So be that as it may, that I have to get out the way. All right.
Hmm.
However, 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 I, Brother Minister Dawud, am not running after every pair of legs, tits, and ass that I see. Am not like going gaga, posting stuff on my social media or anything like that. However, I really could care less if you want to help us build a black nation, but you do the same, or I mean, not do the same, but you do the opposite. You actually do run after every pair of legs, tits, and ass that's out there, or you as a man or a woman, you as a woman you like to kiss women, as a man you like to do whatever you like to do with men. I don't care. What I do care is, do you love black people? Do you think they should have a nation off the shores of America? And when you say that BAIO is an LGBTQ organization, what the hell kind of bullshit are you trying to? What are you trying to say? I don't get it. For me, I put this post up last week and got a response from it. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like the hit dog holler situation,
Hmm.
where I basically said that you know the way that I look at things, that we're gonna argue, we're gonna fuss, we're gonna fight, but I still gotta love y'all, and that is really the truth. But the thing about me, and the difference between me and some of y'all is I love them too. I love them too. Now, do I agree with that lifestyle? No, I don't.
You know how you know
Is
you
it
don't agree
something
with
that
it?
I would promote with my how
Because you're not
how?
one.
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
That's your
exactly,
stance.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I never, I don't. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is that I listen. I come from not even not come from my black
Uh-oh.
people, and that means that I love Don Lemon. That means that I love, unfortunately, Al Sharpton. That means that I love all these people who get on my nerves and do the dumbest stuff in the world. Because what I do know is that something can happen to you, and you may change your mind at any given day. And I'll say this, and I'll let Hollis speak, because I know I'm being long-winded. But brothers and sisters, listen. If you see me on Facebook or whatever, what you don't know is at the age of 19 and 20, I was a criminal. 18, 19, excuse me. I was a criminal. I was running with dudes, robbing people, selling drugs and stuff like that. Now, I know, oh, but Dawood ain't got no gangster in him. Okay, whatever. But the reality of it is that at some point, I decided that wasn't my life. And I turned my life around. What if you saw me back then, said I was some criminal little nigga and I had to die, and you killed me before I became Brother Minister Dawood? You would never hear what you hear today. You would never see what you see today. And Holip said it best. He said the BAIO started basically with me, Holip, and Kala, but there would be no Dawood if you would have decided that I was a degenerate and I needed to be killed because I was out there robbing people and selling drugs. So therefore, for me, how in the world do you get to pass that kind of judgment on people who are living a lifestyle, first of all, that really is none of your business? But second of all, even if you say you take the position that their lifestyle is wrong, do you not have faith that some people can change, that some people can turn around, that some people may decide they don't want to do certain things anymore? Again, it's irrelevant to me because that's your business. But the reality of it is, to me, again, is that I love black people more than you love black people. And I know that we all have the capacity to change. Listen, my assistant minister was a Crip that did 5 years in prison. Am I supposed to turn him away? So anyway, I turn that over to you, big brother.
Yeah, man. Just so that y'all know me, man. I hate being vague, so I'm gonna be direct. This is what's got me irked. Somebody sent us an email, and this was one of the things that they said in the email. And I'm gonna read you this sentence, and I want y'all to give me your thoughts on this sentence because I'm gonna give you how I responded to it.
Right.
The person says, "I'm concerned that the BAIO keeps essentially being promoted as an LGBT organization."
Good Lord.
Do you want me to reread that for you guys in the chat room? I'll read it
Good
again.
Lord.
I'm concerned that the BAIO keeps essentially being promoted as an LGBT organization. When I read this when I was at my job, the first thing I did was what you did, Minister. My first reaction was the same reaction that you had. And I was heated.
Exactly.
I was heated, but I was at work. So I couldn't really get into it. So what I did was I copy and pasted it. I put it in a notepad and because that's usually what I do. When somebody sends me like stuff, what I do is I put it in a notepad and I address it point for point. Because I don't know, for some reason I've gotten the reputation of not answering questions. Like I'm afraid of questions, afraid of being whatever. Every time I've been questioned or when I get these long diatribe emails, what I usually do is respond to them point for point to the person that sent it to me. A lot of times I don't make it public, but maybe I should start doing that. But anyway, I want to give you all the response that I had that I wrote out. I haven't sent this yet because I haven't fully finished the email in terms of breaking down all the points. But this is what I said. Well, no, before I even get into that, is the BAIO been promoted as an LGBT organization? I just want to ask because maybe a lot of people think that it has been. I don't know how
That's
you can fucking
crazy.
think that. And I'm personally telling you that I think that you're retarded if you do. But let me know. Let me know. Now, I don't see anybody putting in the chat room that yes, it has been. So I'm going to assume that that's bullshit. So this is what my response was to it. I said, "I'm sorry, but with all due respect, this irks me to no end. Where are you getting this from?" Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something, Minister? Hello, Minister. Can you hear me?
Oh wow.
Hello,
Okay.
hello.
What's going on here?
Can you hear me, Minister?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I lost you. Your voice started warbling for a minute.
Nah, you know what? For some reason, I'm home now, and I got off the Wi-Fi for whatever reason. It knocked me off, but I'm back on. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me start
Sorry.
over. I don't know if you heard it, but
I did. I heard
um,
you. I heard everything you said.
okay. "I'm sorry, but with all due respect, this irks me to no end. Where are you getting this from? Can you
Word.
post a portion of an audio or copy and paste any piece of text that states the BAIO promotes the LGBT community? It would seem there are two dynamics going on here. Dynamic number one, the members of the BAIO are not articulating the principles of the BAIO, which is not possible since land, infrastructure, and nationhood has been consistently repeated to the point of annoyance.
Yep. Yep.
Dynamic number two, people are making this accusation or being intentionally disingenuous and attempting to disparage, throw salt in the game, place a turd in the punch bowl, and spin our consistent, clear, and concise agenda into something vague and sinister. I'm going to say this for what I know will not be the last time, but what the hell? Your personal ideology doesn't matter in the BAIO.
Right.
The BAIO as an organization is similar to the structure of an actual nation.
Right.
LGBT individuals exist in a community within the United States and have the legal right to marry the same sex. That right doesn't care about your feelings.
Right.
So if you can stomach living with the members of the LGBT community in the United States, which you obviously can and do because you have not revoked your US citizenship in protest of it,
Right.
then you can stomach if a gay person is for land, infrastructure, and nationhood. Since we don't know of any open homosexuals within the BAIO,
There you go. There you
we can
go.
only assume, according to the statistics, that about out of the 100% members of the BAIO, there's probably 4% of them that fall into the LGBT category.
Hmm.
But we would only be guessing. You know why? Because no one's promoting their sexuality within the BAIO.
Exactly.
The only thing being promoted is land, infrastructure, and nationhood. So my question is, if we have Christians who want land infrastructure, well, I'll say LIN, you all know what I mean. If we have Christians who want LIN, why
Hmm.
hasn't the BAIO been accused of promoting Christianity?
Exactly.
If we have Muslims who want LIN,
Like
why
me.
hasn't the BAIO been accused of promoting Islam? If
Hmm.
we have Hebrews who want LIN, why hasn't the BAIO been accused of promoting Judaism?
Hmm.
If we have atheists who want LIN, why hasn't the BAIO been accused of promoting atheism? So if there are homosexuals in the BAIO who want land, infrastructure, nationhood, why would the BAIO be accused of promoting homosexuality? That makes absolutely no sense and is a blatant contradiction no matter how you try to spin it or slice it.
Hmm.
And there's more that the email goes into, but I wanted to address that specific point. Listen, I'm going to say this for the record. You motherfuckers need to grow the fuck up.
Hmm.
I made a video a long time ago called "Do You Believe in God?" If you can go to my archives on the YouTube channel, do a search, and it's a video called "Do You Believe in God?" And in that video, the point that I was making with that is that when people usually ask you, "Do you believe in God?" It's not about God.
Right.
It's about you reinforcing their belief.
Dear God. Yep. Yep.
So when you say, "Do you believe in God, brother?" My answer will either make you feel good about yourself or it'll challenge your beliefs and you'll start to feel bad about yourself or you start to feel a little insecure. So if I say I believe in God, then you go, "Whew, thank God. There's somebody else out there who thinks just like me."
Hmm.
And it's the same thing with this homosexual bullshit. Homosexuals exist. Get over it.
Word.
So you having a problem with it or not having a problem with it is the equivalent of you having a problem with or not having a problem with the sun rising up in the morning.
Word. Yo,
I
let
don't
me.
waste my time. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to get a posse of people together who think like I'm not I'm not sufficiently anti-homosexual for you because I don't fucking care.
Exactly.
I don't sit around wasting my time thinking about goddamn homosexuals.
Yep. Yep.
And it seems to me, and most of the people that accuse me of being pro homosexual, their biggest problem with me is, yo, you don't seem like y'all talk about homosexuality enough. Guilty as motherfucking charged.
Exactly. Me too. I'm second.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sitting around wondering what
co-defendant.
homosexuals are doing.
Me neither.
God damn it, man. Grow the fuck up.
Yo, let me jump in on this, please. First off, point by point of my agreements. I know we got like I don't know, like 500 some odd members on the Ning site. The shit is popping, and it is what it is. Nobody on that site has come out and said I'm homosexual. Y'all should support me. Nobody's done that yet. Nobody have come into any of our Facebook groups and says I'm a lesbian. Y'all should support me. Nobody has done that yet. Nobody has come out in any of our forums or any of our meetings when we had our meetup with Brother Jonathan, Sister Bell, and the rest of the good brothers in Atlanta. Nobody at that meeting said, hold up, time out. Before y'all finish, I just want y'all to know that I'm a homosexual and y'all need to. Nobody said that. So my thing is, like Brother Holip is saying, is where is your concern coming from? Because if we don't have homosexuals in the BAIO, or nobody has stepped forward to claim it and tried to impose it on us, then what is causing you to continue to shove this issue in our face when we don't have any recognizable known homosexuals in the BAIO? Now, with 500 members, it's possible that we have a couple. You know what I'm saying? It is quite possible. But do you understand why we say what we say about homosexuals? Let me help you to understand, because somehow it's flying over your head. The reason why we say what we say is because there could be a dynamic engineer, planner, strategist, administrative mind out there that's a homosexual. And if they want to be down with nationhood and help us build our own nation, we're asking you to come be one of us. And I don't give a damn what you say. We're asking you to become one of us, because if you can design a nation better than anybody else, to hell with anybody who's saying, well, we're not down with homosexuality, we're not down with this, that, and next thing. I want you to be down with us. I want you at the drafting table. I want you at the meetings. I want you to give your opinion on how you think this nation should be built, because I don't give a damn about what somebody thinks about your lifestyle choice when what you are trying to help us do can save lives. And let me tell you something. When you sit there and you reshare all of that stuff that's going on in America, you know, you got the serial resharers that all they do is share what white folks is doing or share what police is doing and stuff like that. When you sit there and you reshare all of that stuff, and the answer to your problem, part of it could be in the mind of a lesbian or a homosexual or a queer or a trans. I can't keep count these days.
Yeah, that's why I call it the LGBTQ XYZ, because it keeps adding on and changing. Like I said, just to back up your point, brother.
My God, can you believe we're talking about this tonight?
Yeah, it kills me that we still. But the thing that really bothered me about it, I think what bothered me the most about it was the concept that he says he keeps seeing the BAIO promoted as an LGBT, or what the fuck are you talking about?
It's not a he,
That's
man.
a goddamn lie. And not only is it a lie, it's slanderous to say some bullshit like that. Give me an example of where you think anything is being promoted within the BAIO when it comes to that. Like I said, when you get into the BAIO, the reason why we don't know how many Christians are in the BAIO, I mean, we
Exactly.
don't know,
Exactly.
because everybody that comes in is talking about land, infrastructure, nationhood. And you know what? I don't believe you. What's that song, Jay-Z? I don't believe you need more people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that you was against something as you say you are. And I made this point on the Information Man show, and I put a clip up of it.
Right. I heard it.
You are living right here in basically a homosexual friendly nation.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done about it?
Word.
All of
Word.
your angst, all of your sensibilities being disturbed. What have you done about it in the country that you live in now?
Brother.
And it seems kind of hypocritical to me that you ain't doing a goddamn thing in the country that you living in now. You living with homosexuals.
Yep.
Let me repeat that in case you didn't know it. You living with and you're accepting homosexuality right now in America.
Hmm.
So what's this line in the sand, this imaginary line in the sand that you got with somebody who's doing the same thing?
Right. And why impose it on us? That's what I don't. It'd be one thing if, which you know, if one of our brothers and sisters was that, and they was a hardcore member, we would have to defend them. But nevertheless, again, nobody in the BAL has come out and claimed that. Nobody has said I'm that and hear me roar. Nobody has said that. So why y'all keep making this up? It would be
And if
one
there
thing.
was, I'm gonna tell you something. If there was somebody within the BAIO who was promoting LGBTQ, they would be out of the BAIO.
Exactly. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Because there's been people promoting other shit that's not LGBTQ,
Right.
and
Yep.
they've been put out.
Yep.
Because that's the agenda for the BAIO is land, infrastructure, nationhood. Our
Period.
goal, our end game is nationhood.
Period.
All these other little side issues, all this other bullshit, you're not going to come into the BAIO and take us off of that goal and take us off of our path.
Yep.
And personally, I think it's suspect when a person is thinking about homosexuals 24/7. That means I'm starting to think that you are fucking homosexual. And what are you doing? Are you thinking that by attacking them, that takes the focus off of you? So now
Yeah.
people won't look at you and see you for what you are.
Right.
I
Right.
really got a problem with so-called straight dudes who's in a tizzy and acting like the fucking Tasmanian devil because homosexuals exist. I think that you a suspect dude, and I'm doubting your heterosexuality.
Let me tell you a funny story from last night as a funny twist to this whole thing. So my oldest daughter is in town. Um, and oh my God, I miss her so much. She's so freaking. She's more pro-black than I am, which if you could believe that.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you could believe that, you know what I'm saying? And so, she likes to go out to TGI Fridays. So
Mhm.
we went out to TGI Fridays and stuff like that. I'm enjoying time where we sitting there, we talking or whatever. And two tables away from us is this lesbian couple. This like I ain't gonna lie to you, son. This nine, almost 9.5 point 10 looking black lesbian, and this
That
this
doesn't shock me.
word, and this freaking golem looking white girl. I mean, she looked like she was gonna break out and start hopping around that bad boy looking for the ring. So anyway, the thing is, as soon as I come in there, like they're sitting on the same. You know how you have like you sit down in a restaurant, you got a booth, so one person sits on one side of the table, the other person sits. So they're sitting together, like literally, like they got hand in hand, probably doing something under the table, whatever. And I come in, and I ain't gonna lie to you, like I'm humble about my looks, but both them chicks was looking at me. But the black one was trying her hardest not to. So the white girl was so infatuated with me, she had to get up from where she was at and sit on the other side of the table because she couldn't stop looking. So the black girl started getting incensed about this whole thing. So the white girl, Gollum, she gets up and she goes to the bathroom. The whole time the black girl is trying to still looks at me, trying. You know how like if you feel somebody looking at you and the minute you look, they look away.
Right.
Every 5 seconds, I'm just like, my God, I don't think you guys really committed to that. So, so then, so then to show her love, and this is where I come to prove your point. To show her love for that white girl when she came back from the bathroom, what she did was she said, "Sit here, sit here." You know what I'm saying? The white
Hmm.
girl sits down and she starts going, bro, over the top, kissing this girl on her face, on her lips, all that stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, you're not fooling nobody. You was looking at me the whole time. Homegirl was in the bathroom. So you know what I'm saying? And so the thing to me is that that's to me an example of what you guys are trying to do. What you guys are trying to do is you trying to act like you so damn straight that, you know what I'm saying, nobody would ever suspect you as being a homosexual. Them two lesbians were very insecure in their practice of the ancient occult art of lesbianism. And so they had to prove to us that they really was down for it because they wasn't doing nothing like that while before we showed up. But when we were there, they had to prove to me and to everybody else there we're lesbians and we're proud of it. And the thing is that nobody cared. I was there for my oldest daughter to be sitting there having dinner and have a good time with her because I don't get to see her because she's in college. She's in Morgan State. And
Right.
so the thing to me that I guess is germane to this conversation is that yo, if you are straight and you love being straight, you don't have to tell nobody. You just have to live it. If
That's
you
it.
are a black nationalist and you love being a black nationalist, you don't have to tell nobody. You just have to live it. And the fact of the matter is that when I do shows on Diana's show or whatever, man, you always get some Negro in the chat room talking about Islam is this and Islam is that, blah blah blah.
Right.
I don't come on none of these shows to talk about Islam. I come on all these shows to talk about land, infrastructure, and nationhood. That's all I ever talk about. But they are so insecure with that particular unbeatable topic that they gotta attack Islam.
Hmm.
And so for me, that's why you Negroes continue to attack the BAIO because, as I stated before, and I'm going to state one more time tonight, there is nobody in the BAIO that has stood up and said, I'm a homosexual, hear me roar. Nobody has said that. So the fact that you keep saying that we're marketing it as an LGBTQ, you know what that shows? That shows that me and you is failures. Me, you, Kala, Bell, Jonathan, we are failures. We fucked up because we have not been able to attract the people that we're trying to promote to.
Right.
Am I lying?
Yeah, because it's very confusing. What does the BAIO represent? Like, what do they stand for? What are the agenda of the BAIO? I'm kind of confused. I know I never heard anybody say land infrastructure nationhood until I mean today. I mean, come on, are we going? The thing about it is, it's so ridiculous on its face, but people are so comfortable making these accusations when they know that it's 100% bullshit. What it is that you got an issue and you got a problem, and I have a feeling I know why.
Yep.
With this whole LGBT homosexual agenda, um, these people existing in the world, you
Yep.
got a problem with it, and I know why you got a problem with it. You ain't fooling nobody. I see you.
Yep.
And you know what? What you were saying earlier about people going over the top and being extra,
Mhm.
that's how it's so funny. You can take that, you can apply it to other things. You know how you can tell when somebody's a cop
Hmm.
when they undercover? When they
Oh,
undercover and they're a cop, they got to be super black,
true.
super hood, super street. And you
Yep.
just look at him, you go, what the fuck, man? What, you 5-0?
Right. Right. Like
It's the
Pookie was
same
doing in New
thing with
Jack
this.
City.
Yeah, it's the same thing with this heterosexual. You trying to make me think that you know what real heterosexual men are doing? They're being with members of the opposite sex.
Exactly.
That's what real heterosexual men are doing.
Mhm.
Could you
Mhm.
imagine you having sex with your woman and all of a sudden you got to stop? You can't get your stroke on because you're thinking about some homo?
Oh my God.
Then I think we have discovered the reason why homosexuality is a problem for you.
Right.
I think we discovered it. And
Right.
so that's all I got to say about this. There's more in the email that when I do a full response, I'm gonna send it to you, Minister. But let's
Okay.
get off this conversation because it's ridiculous on its face.
It is, man. The fact that we had to talk about it for so long is funny as
Yeah,
hell too.
we
But
dedicated 40 minutes to it. That's enough. But what
word
were
up.
some of the things that you wanted to talk about tonight?
Man, well, we did talk about the whole turning gray situation. I
Hmm.
do want to talk about. Let me ask you this: how do you think I know this is the perfect alley, so I'm playing point guard tonight. How do you think the whole Brooklyn nail salon situation fits into the nationhood argument?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, well, let me give you a short synopsis. Shout out to brother O'Shea Duke Jackson because I watched a video of his earlier. I had already known something about it because I taught about it at the temple on Sunday, but nevertheless, he went into it, and I really, really liked the way he broke it down. It was excellent. Dude is funny,
Hmm.
but dude really is made for radio. Like, I know Kala don't like, well, certain people don't like him or whatever, but the reality of it is, dude is really made for radio. Dude is good at what he does. But anyway, either way, what happened with the Brooklyn nail salon situation is apparently two sisters came to this Chinese nail salon. They, the details are unclear as to how it happened, but apparently they did not want to pay for something that they had, and they tried to leave. The Chinese people jumped them and beat them with broomsticks. So that caused an outrage in Brooklyn, and they
Wait, why
protested
did they beat him with broomsticks?
because apparently they tried the Chinese people said they tried to leave without paying for a certain product that they had.
Oh, okay.
Now, the black people have a certain story, the Chinese people have another story. But what O'Shea Duke Jackson said that I agree with is this: Yo, black people, why were you there in the first place? If there was a black nail salon, which I'm from Brooklyn, so don't try it. Don't try to tell me that there isn't. Okay, I'm from Brooklyn, Coney Island, born and raised. But either way, why were you there in the first place? But you did not deserve to be beaten by Chinese people. You damn sure didn't. We should have rose up and burnt that place down, and some other things that I won't say on air. But nevertheless, to me, what this speaks about is a mentality that I don't think that you're ever going to get rid of until you have your own nation, and that is this here. People say black people don't support black business for whatever the reason. Sometimes they say it's because black people don't have good customer service. I think that's BS. Sometimes people say that it's because we have the Negro mentality, we have slavery, this, that, and the next thing. But to me, the real reason is this: the culture that we have been raised up in America facilitates this kind of dysfunction. And the fact of the matter is like O'Shea Duke Jackson said, 3 months now, black people will be going back to that damn hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same ones, or some of the same ones, but different ones. And if
Right.
you stand out there like Planned Parenthood, yo, I don't know if this happens in Brooklyn because I wasn't old enough to see it before I left Brooklyn. But here in the capital region, every Saturday, white people stand outside of Planned Parenthood and protest. Brother man, it doesn't matter if it's a blizzard, it doesn't matter if it's 0 degree weather. Every Saturday, they're out there protesting, and people still go in there and get abortions. People still go in there and get their contraceptives. So what really are you doing? If you stood outside that nail salon for the rest of your life until they decide, even if you put one right next to it, black people would still go to that nail salon. And so, to me, this is what we've been trying to say to y'all all along. Land infrastructure nationhood is not just something where people try to style it as we're just trying to quote unquote flee the oppressor. I hate when people say that. We're trying to flee the oppressor. That's not my goal. My goal, number one, I believe in meritocracy and things like that. But nevertheless, on a lesser and really more poignant point, I think that there's certain behaviors that black people will never, ever, ever correct in America until we have your own nation someplace else. Take it away.
Well, to build on that, and it's so funny because this was one of the points that I was going to make in the email that I was responding to. Um, and this rant is going to be directed at the so-called moralists,
Right. There you go.
or the people who feel that black people need to get their minds right, whatever the fuck that means. There's a reason why I asked those three questions, and there's a reason why those three questions are killer in this conversation.
hmm
Who is we?
Hmm.
We keep talking about this we concept of where you think that black people are some actual, tangible, concrete, organized people.
Right.
And so you thinking, well, the first thing before you can talk about nation, we got to get our minds right. So we got to get knowledge of self. Well, we, nigga, there is no we.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
And let's just say hypothetically that there was a we. So you're telling me that within the belly of the beast, in the midst of this dysfunction, we're
hmm
supposed to get our minds right in the dysfunction before we build something functional?
Right. Oh my God.
Would it make sense that you built something functional so that you can have the environment and the context that you can grow something functional?
hmm hmm
Wouldn't that make sense?
Yes, it would.
If I'm going to plant a seed, I want to plant my seed in fertile soil.
hmm
Now, is there a possibility that a seed can sprout up in a swamp? Yeah, because they have plants that grow in swamps.
Right.
But is that the ideal situation for you to plant your seeds? Is that so? You're saying that planting your seeds in swamp you prefer over planting your seeds in fertile soil?
Let's take it a step further. You conscious community Negroes, part of your conscious pyramid is health, right? So y'all been running around talking about GMOs. Y'all be talking about the right vitamins, minerals, as well as herbs that's supposed to be in the ground. And most of you know that the soil in most of the growing grounds in America doesn't have certain trace minerals in it. It doesn't have selenium, doesn't have manganese, it doesn't have all the things, a lot of the things that you need for healthy food. So therefore, you won't eat food from certain places because it doesn't have the right minerals in it, will it? And so, therefore, now you're telling us that the same spiritual and mental environment as that soil that you say you won't eat from because it's GMO, you're saying that you should get your mind right in that when it's the right ingredient. You see how stupid this sounds?
Yeah, is they contradict themselves and they say shit and they don't even understand what they're saying.
I mean, the reality of it, Holip, is some of us have learned to be a little less crazy than others. That's really all you can really say.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, that justifies us in saying, all right, well, we are qualified to build a nation, but really, we all stupid here in America. You know what I'm saying? And the
Hmm.
reality of it is that some of us is just a little bit less stupid. We learn some things, but nevertheless, it's and even those of us who's a little less stupid, it's going to take generations to breed the craziness that we learned over here.
Exactly.
Generations. And you so if you agree with that, which I know you conscious community more or less do agree with that, why in the hell are you judging the sick people in their present state?
I know why.
Why is
I
that?
know why. They're doing it because the reason why they're raising the point is because their point is you can't build a nation.
Hmm.
That's their point. They're saying black folks' mentality is so screwed up that we can't produce a nation because if we do, the nation is going to be as screwed up as we are.
Right.
That's their point. So
Right.
my question is, so then what's the point?
Word.
That's my point is what is the point? What is the point of these cultural conscious pseudo cultural forums that we create? What's the point of it? So that you can tell me that we will never be better?
Hmm.
That's
Yep.
the point.
Yep.
And so, and I make this point again, and I haven't really seen anybody give me a counter to it. Why am I PayPaling you? Why am I super chatting you?
Mhm.
Why am I Patreoning you? Why am I GoFunding you? Why?
Right.
If your overall philosophy is that black people are so screwed up that we can't even create anything dysfunctional,
Mhm.
then that's game, set, match.
But
What's
didn't
the comeback for that? It's
didn't you
game,
know?
set, and match. You're basically saying that there's nothing that we can do. Now, let's compare that message to the message of the BAIO.
Right. There you go.
Right now, currently, oh, this is, and I'm glad we segue into this because this gives us a whole other opportunity to talk about things within the BAIO.
Yep. Leave it to you to stay on topic because I was going to say a joke.
Yeah, you know.
Well, go ahead.
um, Within the BIO, you know what the purpose of the BIO, what's going on, or what the process of the BIO, what phase of the process we're engaged in now? There's not a lot of people that know about the BAIO. I think
Right.
we can all agree on that.
Yep.
Even in this so-called conscious community, I believe people are just starting to hear something about us. So nobody really knows what the BAIO is all about. So
Right.
what are we doing now? We're promoting it, promoting the
Mhm.
concept of land infrastructure nationhood. We're trying to attract people of like mind that want to come into the organization that believe in the same thing. So this is the process that we're in now. So when somebody comes to me and they say, "Well, where the land at? What government are you?" Da 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 da. You're putting the cart before the horse, and it's not. And then they try to make it seem as if, well, you're avoiding the question. I'm not avoiding. Saying that I'm avoiding that question is stupid. You come into the initial stages of a process. Let's say it's a product design
Mhm.
that hasn't been fully realized yet. I'm in the process of creating the blueprint for the design and gathering the materials for the design. And your issue is, how am I going to use the product
Hmm.
that's not even built yet?
Word. Word.
You see what I'm saying? It's like a lot of
Oh,
these
without a
questions
doubt,
are just disingenuous. And I'm sorry, I'm calling it for what it is.
it is.
How can you come to me talking about what we're going to do? Y'all want to know what materials we're going to use on the road for a city that we haven't even built yet.
Yeah. I seen some dude had asked the other day something really, really deep and intricate about the naval power we was gonna have.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, son.
What bullets is the Afrikan army gonna possess? What guns are you gonna? I'm like, oh, nigga, are you serious?
Or we should use 762 because everybody else uses. It's like what? But you know what? To add on to what you're saying, um, to me, what this speaks to is what I call church folk mentality. Now, you and I both know that even the people that say they're not religious are more religious than the people that say they're not religious.
Hmm.
So the reality of it is that what I've noticed in the religious paradigm, and this is not everybody that's religious, but there's a good sizable amount of people across all religions, be it what you call it, be it Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and yes, quote unquote, certain people who practice African spirituality act like this too. And what it is that you have developed a church folk mentality. You have developed a mentality where A, Either you're trying to send out the horde because you want to see 144,000. Only 144,000 is going to see the kingdom of heaven. That's your philosophy. So you want to be in control of who the 144,000 is. Or number two, and this is an even more dangerous, disingenuous person. When you are, because you know me, I'm a minister. When you are a reverend minister, priest, preacher, whatever you are, that's the head of a congregation, you are always on the lookout for a wolf that comes in that is looking for something wrong to try to steal members. That's who you people are. You people who have locked on to the LGBTQ talking point and said other talking points like, let me see y'all land, where exactly is this going to be? Give us the exact coordinates so I can put it in my Google Maps and all this other stuff. You are the people who are looking for that one thing that's wrong so you can say, that's why I didn't join them. And then you could run around and try to take as many people as you can with you. That's church folk mentality. And the reality of it is that as better as you think you are than church folk, you are just like them or sometimes even worse because you are supposed to know better. The reason why we created the BAIO, that we assisted in building this, is so that we could annihilate all of that. We did not want to argue over religion. We did not want to argue over gender. We didn't want to argue over how big your feet is and how small your toenail. We didn't want to argue over all of this. All we wanted to say is, do you want a nation? If you do, let's talk about how to do it. That's what we want to argue. And you niggas still try to bring us back to what we're not going to let you do it. We're not going to let you take us back to what we tried to fight to get away from. We're not. We're not. Now, let me ask you this, Holip. Have you seen this back and forth between people that have something to say about Russell Wilson and his marriage to Sierra?
No.
So
I'm totally,
apparently,
brother. I'm totally in the dark with most of the shit that's going on right now. I'm gonna be honest with you.
well, to me, I think it's another way that we can talk about nationhood. But
Mhm.
so, of course, Sierra had frequented some dudes in the industry. The most popular dude being the brother Future, who is a young mumble rapper.
Right.
So anyway, she had a child by this dude, but had mad pictures on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, smoking weed with him, just thugging. And for whatever reason, they fell out. And he's a street brother. He is what he is. I'm not against him because he's a street brother. I have many street brother friends, and I do classes with street brothers every Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Right.
So regardless, Sierra then met Russell Wilson, who has not a 1 ounce of street in him. But Russell Wilson, I don't know if people know because people is busy calling him a queer, a square or whatever.
Hmm.
Russell Wilson is a 5'9" quarterback that to me is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, bar
Hmm.
none. If you actually watch like a 5 game clip of this dude is incredible, Holland. Incredible. Like he's not like Michael Vick where he takes off and he runs towards the other end, but the way he gets out of stuff and
Right.
throws, he is incredible. And he's super intelligent, very successful, very disciplined, and doesn't, do the normal stuff that they accuse black quarterback. I mean, he's just a good brother. And so
Right.
therefore, Sierra, you know what I'm saying, courted the dude, and the dude is a Christian, so he said, we're not going to have sex before we marry. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows. But
Hmm.
nevertheless, the whole thing got sprouted up because a dude named Slim Thug decided that he wanted to say, well, I think Sierra's being disingenuous because if you go out with a dude like Future, who's a thug, I don't see you going to a square or a corny dude like Russell Wilson. And to me, that is the kind of mentality that some people have, BAIO wise. Because what you're looking for is it the same quality that's in Russell Wilson, believe it or not, is in Future also. Because my argument is this: I know a lot of people who try to rap that never made it, don't you?
Hmm.
And so for you to become a rapper, for you to be successful, because Future is successful and got money. You know what I'm saying? Made albums and still making money to this day. What the hell does Future's thugged out lifestyle from his past have anything to do with his success? And what the hell does Russell Wilson's not being able to dance or go to parties? What does that have to do? What we should be focusing on is their ability to master a craft and be successful at it.
Right.
And so I guess the way I look at it, BAIO wise, is that you could look at one brother from one walk of life. He may have come from the hard knock life, from the streets or whatever, but he can't be that thugged out because he's a successful rapper, which means
Right.
that he had to practice his craft, which means he had to market his craft, which means he had to do everything in his power to get noticed. Don't tell me that that dude was running around gangbanging all the time and he's successful. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry.
Right.
But then at the same time, you got Russell Wilson, who comes from a middle class family, and by all means, Russell Wilson should be doing acid. You know what I'm saying? Which
Hmm.
a lot of rich kids end up doing and just screwing up. But he dedicated himself to football. Both dudes have a certain level of discipline and mastery of their craft, which to me is useful by the BAIO. But you would have people, conservative people, who love Russell Wilson and hate Future. And then you would have thugged out people or brothers and sisters from the common area who would like Future and not Russell Wilson. And to me, all of y'all is bugging
Hmm.
because I think that both is useful. What do you think?
I agree. You ain't gonna get no argument from me because we think the same in that regard. It's about what you can do.
Right,
Can you do the job?
right, right.
But the problem is, and the reason why we have these I don't even know what to call it when we get this type of stuff. But the reason why this happens is because people are like what they're trying to do is they're trying to draw us back to the same old social issue bullshit,
Right.
which
Yep.
is basically just all about judging other people by some standard that you don't even have.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's like I said this before and I'll say it again. I am who I am because I'm lucky.
Mhm.
I was lucky to be in a situation and in an environment where I had references of manhood. What's a
Mhm.
man? How does a man act? How does a man treat women? How does a man treat his family?
Right. Right.
How does a man defend his family? How does a man um, rule over his domain?
Hmm.
You know, I've been lucky that I've had references to that. Not only personal references in my family, but outside of my family.
Right. Hmm.
So when you hear me talk, you're going to hear a lot of different people coming out of my mouth. You hear a little bit of my mom coming out of me. You hear a little bit of my older brother. You hear a little bit
Mhm.
of Malcolm, a little bit of Amos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot, and what makes it beautiful when you have all of these references that you can draw from is that you take them and you create something unique of your own.
Right.
Because the way that I express myself is my expression. I'm not being a carbon copy of Amos Wilson, obviously, because I don't
Right.
talk like Amos Wilson. I'm not
Right.
being a carbon copy of Malcolm X. I'm not being a carbon copy of my brother or my mom. The way that
Right.
I express myself is unique to me, but those influences are there
Mhm.
that I draw from. So a lot of people seem to be under the impression that if, let's say that you were raised in a middle to upper class background, guess what, nigga? You lucky.
Word.
Circumstances just happen to be that you came up in those particular set of circumstances. You're not fucking special. You don't have no middle to upper class gene.
Right.
Does anybody actually believe that shit?
I do. I do. I think a lot of people believe in that shit.
Yeah, I get the
I
sense
really
that
do.
they do. You think that there's a middle to upper class gene and that you come out the womb middle to upper class.
Yep. Yep. And
Come on.
these.
You know what it is? It's that people we've been abused and beat up on for about 400 years. And I understand why people do this. Any attempt to make you feel special, any attempt to make you feel different than the average black person, you just jump all over that shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm a different nigga. I'm different. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, and I've said this before in many other podcasts and live streams and whatever. I am no different than
Word.
anybody out here.
Word. Word.
As a matter of fact, I'm sort of like a miracle in the sense that um, I'm not supposed to be thinking how I'm thinking. If you were to go by my circumstances and my upbringing, I'm not supposed to have the mentality that I have right now. And I,
Word.
I guess you could say the same thing, right, Minister?
Oh, without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. That's why for me, like I don't jump on the whole single moms is the single number one thing that destroyed the black community because you know
Hmm.
why? Because I grew up under a single mom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well you're an exception to the rule. You mean all my friends are exceptions or just me? You know
No,
what I'm
no,
saying?
you know what it is? Like I said, they want a cookie.
Right.
They want to feel like they should be awarded because I'm different.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
I see Belle is snapping her fingers. I don't know if you're in the chat room.
No, I'm not. That's homegirl.
We got a few homosexual niggas who obviously they must be having a flare up or something.
Oh, word for real? Over what? What do we? You know, let me just say this to you, bro.
Uh-oh. Did he get cut? Uh-oh. Oh, you're on mute, Minister. Minister, you hit the mute button. I don't know if you know that or not. If you can hear me, that's your volume is on mute, so we can't hear what you're saying. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you, Bell Thanos. Obviously, people don't know who you are. I mean, God damn. You mean to tell me the word hasn't gotten out yet? I feel I feel like these guys are like, you remember at the beginning of Infinity War where Banner was got thrown into Doctor Strange's house and he's on the floor talking about Thanos is coming. Thanos is coming. That's what it seems like to me. They should know by now, man. And the crazy part about it is like they calling us all types of names, and it ain't nobody as weak as these Negroes. Think about the time. Think about the individual that takes the time out to try to trash nationhood. Think about that. Wait, let me see. What's up with Minister? Oh yeah, he got knocked off. I guess he got a call back. Let me send him another link. Hold on.
Yo,
Oh,
I
there
got
he is.
yeah, I got knocked off for a second.
Yeah, you went mute for a while, and then I guess you got completely knocked off.
I think I tried to look at the chat room and my phone was like, "What you doing, son? You better get back on that phone call." Like, I was like, "Sorry, sorry." But I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know where I stopped, but what I'm saying is that church folk mentality is that basically like you have a person right that got kicked out of 4 or 5 congregations. Every place they go, they find something wrong with that congregation, and that's the reason why they can't join. So when you show up, if you're not seasoned in this, some people will actually get kind of get insecure and be like, damn, maybe what they're saying about us is right. And I'm here to tell all you brothers and sisters down with the BAIO, no, they're not right. These are people who couldn't last in any other place, and now they're here, and they got mental issues. And so therefore, what happens is that they found some a problem wrong with all the other organizations. Now they're going to find the problem with our organization. And for me, it's just crazy. And that's why I give the Russell Wilson and the future kind of dynamic there, because the point is, who cares what either one of the way either one of them grew up? The point is, are they successful? Are they disciplined? And what can they do to help? And I go back to Hurricane Katrina so many times because in the Hurricane Katrina dynamic, um, what ended up happening was is Mayor what is I think it's Ray Nagin.
Hmm.
Is, Mayor Ray Nagin did not give a damn who you were and what you were. He wanted you to come downtown and help rebuild New Orleans.
Hmm.
That's all he cared about. And so to me, that's the mentality I wish black people would take on, which is we are now post Hurricane Katrina times 400 years. and
Yeah.
And why don't you just want people who is going to help you rebuild New Orleans instead of trying to figure out what politician you like and what constituent you like and stuff like that? I don't get it.
Oh, just as an aside, we Bell new catchphrase is going to be "I hope they remember you."
Why is that?
That's so you, when you hear that, you know what's gonna go down.
Oh yeah, somebody gets snapped. So tell me this: what are they saying? What is the opposition to what we're saying?
No,
I
it's
think
nothing, brother. Trust me, it's not. It's not even intelligent. Whatever the response, it's just basically, oh, them niggas is weak. Them niggas is cold. You know, the same bullshit.
oh dear Lord.
Doesn't matter
So if we're weak, why are you here?
because we're not weak, and because they like my eyes. I've discovered that I maybe have to change that thing in my videos because they get lost in Holip's eyes. That's what it is.
uh,
It's the struggle. See what's going on. It's the struggle of a gay man trying to live a heterosexual life, and when they have this passion and this attraction to other men, they gotta amp it up. They gotta be overly aggressive so that you don't think that they're really attracted to the person.
word.
And
Oh
we
my
know
God.
these tricks. We know how it goes. I mean, even if you look at in heterosexual relationships, back in school, when a guy liked a girl, he couldn't just say "I like you" because that's weak.
Right.
You gotta diss her. You gotta, throw spitballs at her, trip her when she walking down the hallway.
Punch you in the arm.
Yeah, all of that stuff because you don't want her to think that you really like her, but you want
Right.
to give her attention. You want to give her attention. You want her to know that I'm gonna give you this attention, but don't think it's because I like you.
Word. Yo, let me tell a short story to kind of add to that.
Yeah.
The joy of having children is that children remind you of certain things you forgot. So I remember one day, I think my son was in junior high school or whatever, and my son is a really intelligent, very disciplined young man, but he would get in trouble time to time when he was in school. So make a long story short, they had me come up there and all this other stuff because apparently my son was harassing this little girl, and I that sounded crazy to me. So I had to come up there, take the day off of work or whatever, and I'm sitting there, and so they had him, they you know the principal sitting there telling us, it's a black school, by the way, like a black charter school. And the principal telling this long drawn out story about how my son is a good guy and how me being his father, I'm a good example and he needs to live up to the example. And I'm saying, well, what did he do? What did he do, y'all? He was like, well, apparently he hit this girl and all. I said, my son hit a girl? My son? They was like, yeah. I'm like, nah, I know that's crazy.
Hmm.
But I got him by himself. I said, Ahmad, I said, what happened? He goes, well, Dad, he goes, this girl's kind of fast, and she wanted to kiss me. I was like, word? He said, yeah. I said, so what happened? He goes, man, I was getting ready to go over there, and then I felt that feeling in my stomach, and I decided not to go. And you remember that feeling? Like when
What
you,
feeling?
when you was younger and you wasn't like developed yet, and a
Hmm.
girl wanted to kiss you, and you felt that crazy feeling in your stomach and shit was flipping up and down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I had forgot that we had that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I'm a grown man at this point. I was like 35, I think, or whatever. And
Hmm.
when he said that, I looked at him. I was like, "Oh shoot!" I said, "I forgot we had that fun." I said, "So what did you do?" He said, "Well, Dad, I did the only thing I could do to get out of it. I punched her in the arm."
And how old is your son at the time?
He was like 12 or 13, I think,
12. So
something like
this
that.
is
Yeah.
this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing
Yep.
with 12-year-olds.
Yes, sir.
Your guys haven't mentally developed past the age of 12.
Right. So y'all gotta punch us in the arm, cause y'all really.
Right. Isn't that something?
I was just like, it was a combination of me laughing, and then I was like, I forgot that we did that, because like you forget you go through stuff like that as a child, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
nevertheless, yeah, I agree with you. Like it's a hyper aggression. But the thing is that if you was on the street and you thought we was corny, you wouldn't try to hang with us. So if you really think we corny, what you doing in the chat room?
Mhm.
If
Well,
you
they think that they first of all they're low frequency anyway. So they
right,
think that these immature rudimentary tactics actually work.
hmm,
And what they don't realize is what you're doing is you're actually making our brand stronger.
right,
Do you realize? I mean, do you guys sense a pattern? When we first started the BAIO and my channel and we started talking about this stuff, we was getting a whole lot of resistance. I'm talking about this resistance is nothing. This is why we can deal with it and laugh. But
right.
we was getting heavy resistance. Heavy resistance. Now, when you look at our chat rooms and you look at the forums that we go into, I would say about 90% of the people are for nationhood.
Right. Right.
And there's a small demographic of people that want to fight that. And a
Word.
small demographic of people that don't realize that the BAIO is gaining more momentum every single day.
Mhm.
So have at it, horse.
Yo,
Have at it.
y'all wasn't around when we had to whoop SARS Willie P's ass. Y'all wasn't
Yeah.
around for that.
For all the people that was really coming at us and trying to kill this thing in the crib. And we knew that that's what they was doing. We knew
Right.
you tried to kill it because we knew what would happen once that baby got out of the crib.
Right. Yep.
And now we see it.
So we went hard, super hard.
Like, do you see how many BAIO logos are in these chat rooms now?
Word. What y'all gonna say now? What y'all gonna say now? You know. And the thing is, again, like Holip said before, you can't really kill it by quote unquote exposing one of us because nobody's the leader.
Right.
So it's like, you know, if one of us gets caught up in a scandal, they just get moved to the back, and that's it. We're like a good version of Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. So
Yep.
I don't know. Let me ask you this, I guess, on that side before we close out. I Infinity War was fantastic, bro, but this seems like a weak comic book movie year. What's your thoughts?
Wait, say that again?
I said Infinity War was fantastic, and so was Black Panther. But
Right.
this just seems to me like a weak comic book movie year. What's your thoughts?
Oh, because everybody's I agree with you because everybody's basically playing catch up to Marvel.
Okay.
That's
What you
the
mean by
main
that?
reason. And it's so funny, man. If somebody had told me years ago that there was going to be a Venom movie, there would be this sense of excitement to me.
Mhm.
They've shit the bed so much on the Venom character that now, I have absolutely no. I'm not saying that I won't go see it, but I'm
When's
not
it
really
coming out?
excited about it.
When's it coming out, son?
I don't know. I'm imagining it is coming out at some point soon because they're doing more heavy trailers and more promotion for it.
Right.
But I think that's what it is. It's like everything. I keep seeing these projects that people want to come out with, and it probably the main reason. And this is why I have so much love for Kevin Feige, man. I got so much love for this dude because this dude is a true comic head.
Hmm.
He knows that catalog like the back of his hand.
Hmm.
And that's the reason why, because he's pulled off characters that before they were actually put on screen, I was wondering how the hell you was going to do it.
Right.
Like the fact that they pulled off Thor, I thought that Thor and Doctor Strange was the ones I was the most interested in seeing because I'm like, how do you do those characters in a context and make them seem believable?
Right. Right.
And they did it.
And the people that they casted for them was
Yeah,
perfect.
perfect casting.
Word.
Perfect casting. Like Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor. I mean, it's scary how much he embodies Doctor Strange.
I like the movie Doctor Strange more than I like the comic Doctor Strange, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like, I think that's what it is. It has been a really weak, um, and it's not really, I mean, to be honest with you, it's nothing really going to top Infinity War Part 2.
Oh yeah, which coming out next year, right?
Yeah.
So you got that. I mean, you know, I guess we got spoiled because Black Panther was so good, and then Infinity War. I still like the movie. I just don't want to get you know what I'm saying? I don't want to because I will be watching the shit out of movies, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. So so I don't want to make myself drunk with it. I own it, so I'll watch it like once every 2 or 3 weeks. But I be counting the days down. That's my word. I be counting the days down. And
Right.
yo, but recently, what you call it? I started getting back into my kung fu movies, and I started watching Master Killer and Master Killer Two.
Speaking of
And
which, did you ever get Mad Monkey?
no, I didn't. I didn't. I got to do that. You know, I was going through our messages the other day, and I seen that, and I was like, I want to watch that. I really do
Oh,
because
you got to, man. That's a classic.
I will.
And I know you would like it because there's so much that's relevant to what we're doing right now.
Okay, I got you. So wait a minute. Is there like a lengthy? Because for me, I don't know how you brothers and sisters feel in the chat room if you watch kung fu movies, but for me, my favorite part of kung fu movies, you know, you got your average situation where dude's family gets killed, or 1/5 of his whole nation gets killed, and then he got to go somewhere and learn a skill to come back and kill everybody.
Oh yeah,
And
then you'll love this one.
oh yes, because the process of learning that skill, brother, I literally will rewind that 50 times.
Yeah.
Invincible Shaolin. When I was younger, they called it Unbeatable Dragon.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, brother, I own that bad boy. I watched that bad boy months and months, man.
Unbeatable Dragon.
Word up.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Because my favorite one, I'm not really sure which one of the three is my favorite, but I know that the big diesel guy that was supposed to be learning the praying mantis,
Hmm.
like, yo, he had it really. Every time he tried to master something, that master would throw another rubber band on him, or I was just like, how's this dude ever gonna get out of this, man? And there was just no way he was gonna lose after all of that. There was no way. So I gotta watch this monkey movie. If you're saying that it has the same level of what you call it, it has the same level of practice in it, then I gotta watch that. So now, how was the Tom Cruise movie?
Oh, excellent.
Word?
Excellent. Definitely a must see. Tom, when Tom is in his wheelhouse, it's hard to beat him.
Right.
It's hard to beat him. And Mission Impossible is his wheelhouse.
Well, speaking of
That's
which, did you like Edge of Tomorrow?
loved it.
Me too.
Loved it.
Me too.
And the crazy part about it was, see, what messed up Edge of Tomorrow was that movie that he did before Edge of Tomorrow.
What was that?
Remember, it was this space movie. I forget
Oh
even what.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're
That's
talking
what screwed
about.
up Edge of Tomorrow because people like that movie was whack.
Right.
So when they saw Edge of Tomorrow, it just had a similar vibe and feel to it in the trailer. So people was like, "Ah, man, please."
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I could not wait till that movie came out. I saw that movie. I want to say the Saturday after it came out, and that was the first of three times I saw it in the movie theater, and I own
Oh,
it.
Minister, let me give you something from the chat room. Brother Jay says, "I guess talking about movies is Black Power."
Wait a minute, is that Brother Jay from X Clan? Verbs of power. His See, here's the thing.
Oh boy,
Here's
man.
the thing, Brother Jay. Did you go to 125th and say that to Sonetta and them? Did you go to the National Black Theater and did you talk about land infrastructure nationhood when they was talking about all that bullshit that y'all tolerated for like 6 or 7 years? For 6 or 7 years, you guys tolerated a huge waste of time called the conscious community debate culture. A huge waste of time in which the only people that got paid was the Don King of consciousness, and a couple of people got maybe $200-300 a debate. That's the only thing that came out of that. Nothing else. They did not buy the building. They didn't buy the venue. They didn't create centers all across America from it. And you guys tolerated that for 6 or 7 years. After talking about nationhood for an hour and a half, we now talk about movies, and you want us to stick to the topic, right? Because
You remember that movie? Not that movie. That song by Rakim, Ghetto.
oh yeah, yeah,
Nobody's smiling.
exactly. Like because we got New York State in mind, so we got to. I'm sorry, hold. Let's get back on the topic. So anyway, you know what I mean? In Africa, we gotta come on, y'all, get
You
out of
know
here.
what? But you know what? It's good that it because it brings up something else that we can touch on.
Sure,
Um, I remember I was a knucklehead at one point,
me
and
too.
I still am. But don't get it twisted. But I'm talking about when it came to this particular topic. I used to get super frustrated, and which is kind of ironic when you look at it now because the sisters are taking over the BAIO.
Oh my goodness,
I'm loving it.
me too.
But my biggest source of frustration was getting black women to be in these forums talking about nationhood. It was a constant sense of my frustration and ministers.
Yep, yep.
And I spoke to a sister, one of my friends. Her name on Facebook is naturally natural.
Oh, I seen her.
Yeah,
It's with an I.
yeah.
Yep.
And she pointed out something, and this shows you the difference between the way that men think and the way that women think. And this is the reason why we need women to balance things out,
Right.
and we need men to balance things out. You
Right.
know, we work great together if we can get past this bullshit.
Right.
But I don't even know why I'm talking about that because in our circle we don't have these gender wars.
Nope.
It doesn't exist.
Nope.
So we're already living we're living what we're talking. We're not just talking it.
Right. Real talk. When them sisters schedule a show, no matter what I'm doing, it gets pushed aside, and I'll be there in the chat room, and they'll tell you that.
Yep. Me too, unless I'm asleep and they schedule it while I'm asleep. Then I'll be like, oh God.
Word.
But I want
Yeah,
to
with
be
your
there
part.
and listen to it all the time, man, because that's where and the reason why I'm making this point is it goes back to what Naturally was telling me, because I was complaining that the women wouldn't tune into nationhood shows, but they would tune into all this what I consider trivial stuff like relationships and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And what she told me is that what I'm thinking is trivial is actually what's important.
Right. 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 Right.
And I never really looked at it like that until she pointed it out. And she was 100% correct.
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking like a man. A man, when you give a man a problem, the man's is there to fix the problem.
Right.
That's how we think.
Right.
Like I made this like I don't know if y'all saw it's something called Don't Pay Attention to the Nail. It's like this little short on YouTube
I think I've
where
seen that.
the woman has a nail in her head,
Hmm.
literally a nail in her head, and she's complaining about how she got a headache and oh, this is so uncomfortable. And so the dude reacting like a dude, well, can we get the nail out of it? She's like, stop concentrating on the nail. Can't you hear what I'm saying to you?
Right.
And so the video ends where he just doesn't address the nail and he concentrates more and lets her express herself on how she feels about how the nail is in her head.
Right.
And it's a comedic take, it's a satire take, but it has an element of truth to it.
Hmm.
We as men don't really concentrate on the feeling thing, the emotional aspect of this.
Right.
We constantly concentrate, or like the guy, Brother Jay, what's the mission? We need to stay on topic. Dot, 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 dot. That's how we think. But what you don't realize is when you have a nation is filled with what? People.
Mhm.
I want to like the people that I'm in a nation with.
Right. Right.
And how do you get to like the people? Well, you got to socialize with those people. You got to talk about different things that other
Yep.
than just land, infrastructure, nationhood 24/7.
Oh man, bro. Oh my God. So let me take this alley oop now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I see me, and this may not be you, brother Jay, because I think you're just misguided. But I can't stand people like that. I really can't. There's a time, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, in the Nation of Islam paradigm or temple or whatever, there's a time to discuss the teaching. There's a time to discuss the temple. And then there's a time to discuss how your children are doing.
Hmm.
And when I start talking to you about your children and what they're doing, and you say, brother, that's why the lesson says, it's not too many times you're gonna hit me with that before I find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Right.
try again and be like, yeah, brother. So how your car, man, brother? The messenger said we need to make our own cars, brother. Okay, that's number two. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd be like, oh, brother, I heard you was going to school or whatever. Yeah, brother, because the messenger said we got to have our own university. Listen, man, I got something to do. My children are calling. And because, nigga, calm down. Calm down. Listen, I've been doing this for 26 years, yo. And if I'm not like that, you shouldn't be like that, having just showed up yesterday. And to
Right.
me, and I'm not saying I've been doing land infrastructure nation, I'm just giving a Nation of Islam kind of, what you call it, kind of example. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is that it's like when I get around people that's like that you got to stay on topic and all this other stuff. And, you know, yo, listen, the day for that was yesterday, and it was fake yesterday. That's the most important pertinent part of it. The day for that was yesterday, and even yesterday was fake. That's why it didn't last. So now we are on a different vibe in which we know and understand what we want to do and how we want to do it, but at the same time we kind of like each other and we kind of want to talk about what's going on. Because when I get off on the phone, this is the normal conversation that I have with you. I'm going to talk about, hey, listen, this is going on with the work that I do. What's
Right.
going on with your, yo, I heard this is going on with the public transit system down there. Blah 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 blah. Oh man, did you see so and so, man? So and so said this, and it's a normal conversation.
Normal.
It is not. We talk about nationhood, 50,000. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, listen, bro. I got to get up in the morning. I do want to say to
Mm.
everybody in the chat room, peace and love. I love y'all, sisters. I love what you're doing. I cannot be more happy and supportive of you. I'm there for you. If you don't see me, it's probably because I'm out working or something like that. But I'm going to catch your video when I do see it. But y'all are doing a phenomenal job, and I thank
Yes.
God. I really thank God we found y'all because I guess to speak to veggie back on Holland's point that he said earlier is that yes, we did search for sisters to love nationhood and talk about nationhood. And shout out to Sister Salima, who I forever love. We forever love
Hmm.
because Salima was the only one that was standing up for nationhood and wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Wanted
Yeah.
to do a show. It's just Salima got her own business, and let's be honest, shit is popping for Salima.
Hmm.
So she's kind of busy right now, or she would be right there with y'all. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But that is homegirl on more levels than even nationhood, to be honest with you, because what y'all don't know is me and Salim is literally from the same place. Like we both from Coney Island.
Hmm.
So like there's deep roots there. And Holip knew Salima's mother, but Salima's mother was very fond of me.
Hmm.
And for the short period of time we was connected on Facebook, she would always repost pictures of mine and stuff like that. And she just was a beautiful woman, and she passed away like 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
so, our connections is like I done been through Holub losing his mother with him. I done been through Salima losing her mother, Dev, like, passing. We've been through a lot together, man, for you to be telling us we should stay on Black Power. Fuck you.
And you have no clue what Black Power is.
True.
That's
There you
another thing.
go.
You have no clue what Black Power is. You are the last person. If you have an issue with us talking about something outside of land infrastructure nationhood and just basic social things that we talk about, you don't have a clue what Black Power is. And that's the
Mhm.
reason probably why you don't have a woman. That's the
Yep.
reason why you don't have a man. That's the reason why you alone on a Saturday and a Friday night.
Word.
Learn how to be a human being.
Word.
Because that's really what I want for our people. I want our people to be the same way. Like I mentioned this before. I see white people walking down the streets practically skipping and smiling.
Oh my God. Hell yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
want that for my people.
Hell yeah. Man, I was working in like a place called Saratoga Springs up north here where they have the horse races or whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm working on like this billionaire's home. And you should see the people coming down the block in this area, bro. It's like the sun is out, but the sun is out for them.
Right.
And it's like I look at them and I say I'm not mad at my life. I'm happy at where I'm going and what I'm doing. But what would it be like to feel like that? What
Mm.
would it be like to know that the whole infrastructure of your country is geared towards helping you?
Right.
You know,
Right.
as a white person, when you wake up in the morning, what you know is no matter how messed up your life is, the country has been built to help you. That's what you know. You know what I'm saying? And even if you claim that you buying into Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, it's against straight white males and the whole world is against them. You crackers know damn well that this country is geared and built for you, and that's why you feel so good about it. That's why your
Mm.
women move around the way they do. It's because y'all know this country has been built and is structured to help you, and you feel good about it.
Right.
And the only ones that don't feel good about it is the ones that was lazy and didn't really take advantage of it. So they gotta blame some stuff on us and the illegal immigrants and stuff like that. The Muslims are blowing up the country and stuff like that. But the ones who really get it and they know what time it is, what they say, and they've told me this many times, and I'm pretty sure you've heard this. Man, it would suck to be you.
Oh yeah. And what you don't realize is the reason why people is upset about there's this epidemic of people calling the cops on people. You got to understand something. Even the lower class, the poor white trash, this is their way of expressing their power.
Exactly.
They have no goddamn jobs. They don't really
Exactly.
have no education, but they know I'm white, and if I can call the police and kill you anytime I want to, nigga, and that gives them some sense of power.
Mhm. Yep.
So that's the reason why it's going down in the frequency that it is, because you got a lot of white people out there that feel powerless,
Mhm.
and that's the way for them to express their power by killing you.
Right.
And this is the place you want to do it right here in.
Exactly.
But let me let you go, brother. I know you got to get off the phone.
Yes, sir. All right, bro.
But
So
thank you
listen,
for this conversation. We will meet up again next Wednesday.
yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
Alrighty. I'm not getting off, y'all. Don't worry. I'm gonna be here for a little bit. Alrighty. That's our brother, Minister Dawud. Now, you got me. So here's your chance. Ask me anything you want to ask, because if you don't have any questions, I'm going to close this down. But if there's any pressing things that you want to talk about, any things you want to know my feelings on, or any questions you want to ask, now's the time. Chat room. Brother Nubian, D Nubian says, rest in peace to our loved ones. Thank you, brother. That's right on time. Right on time, man. So yeah, anybody? Or is the slow chat not allowing you to comment? I put the slow chat on 10 seconds between comments, so that way you don't see this thing scrolling real fast. But maybe I should put it on 5 seconds. Because it's, like when you're doing a show, you don't want the thing scrolling like really fast, because then you miss people's questions. So I'm gonna leave it at 10, because 10 gives me a chance to read everybody's comment. What is Black Power? Black Power to me is socioeconomic and political control over the context of your reality. That's Black Power. Socioeconomic and political control over the context of your reality. Would building a nation state in an unoccupied land in an existing nation be an option? Actually, that's the old ideal option for me. LaRod 72, that's the ideal option for me. I don't know if that's going to be how it goes down, but I would love that. Like in a nation state, to have a nation state in unoccupied land in an existing nation, they would allow us to um, work that land. And actually, I mean, also another thing that is a real option is um, working the existing infrastructure, renovating the existing infrastructure for an existing African nation in exchange for land. That's another concept. There's a few more concepts that I have too. There's like more than one way to skin this cat. But I believe that we got to put the cart before the horse. I mean, what am I saying? We can't put the cart before the horse. Damn, forgive me, I'm losing my mind. Um, right now, I think that the main focus of the BAIO should be membership. I think that we should be getting people in these chapters who believe in the concept of land infrastructure nationhood. And I believe that once we get them in their chapters, then we need to meet up with them, and then we need to find out what these people do, and we need to start forming these business cartels. I want a crew of IT people. I want a crew of lawyers. I want a crew of accountants. You know what I'm saying? We need to have these people form these professional networks once they get to know each other. Let me scroll back up. iTuber12 had a question. What was the question? Did I miss it? Let me go. Oh, land infrastructure nationhood. What is the end goal for the BAIO? Is that a trick question? Nationhood, an actual nation of our own, an independent nation. Um, reach X members, then move to Africa. No, actually, there is no like that type of linear way of progression is not really what's going on now. There are people moving to Africa right now. You know what I'm saying? There's people who are traveling to Africa. There are people that want to move to Africa right now. So it's not like everybody has to wait and be on hold until the nation state comes and then they all move to Africa. You can move to Africa right now. What we want is when you go to Africa, whatever country that you're in, you need to network with other BAIO members in that country. Because see, anything outside of the nation state is basically going to be a satellite community. So we can develop or put it, I wouldn't say develop satellite communities, but put in place the infrastructure for those satellite communities to thrive once we get the nation state. So it's not like this linear, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step thing. You know what I'm saying? We're doing multiple things all at the same time. What else did he have to ask? What else? Jonathan, peace, Jonathan, by the way. Peace, Holla, would you like to share some of the info from the spreadsheet, like the number of IT people we have? I'll just say we have a lot. I don't want to get into specifics, but we have a lot of IT people. We have a lot of people that's interested in being diplomats who have joined the state chapter. Adrian Hibbett says, how would we govern ourselves once LIN has been achieved? I'm not really understanding that question. Because if land infrastructure nationhood has been achieved, wouldn't we be governing ourselves? Like, I don't explain or elaborate on that, Adrian. BAIO logos. In the future, how you feel about the BAIO doing a small infrastructure project somewhere like in Haiti, say rebuilding their market like a test run or promotional thing? Absolutely no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. I'm for BAIO being in every goddamn country where there's Africans. So you ain't gonna get no strong arguments from me about us doing anything and connecting and doing business and building infrastructure or helping out with existing even if other existing African nations want us to help them with their nation. I don't have a problem with that. All I'm saying is you need to give a certain set aside a portion of land that we can build ourselves. That's all. If we did a nation within the nation, how would we control the situation in case of coups or other issues like that or corruption within government? A nation, if we did, now this is from Clyde Lewis. I'm assuming you're saying a nation within a nation on the continent? How would we control the situation in case of coups or other issues like that or corruption within government? By doing our due diligence on what governments we even want to deal with and what countries we want to deal with. We have a lot of people who specialize in Africa. We have a lot of people who have boots on the ground in Africa. So it's not like we're blind to what's happening on the continent. A lot of the information that we get is actually from people that's in these countries. So that's the first thing. We're not going to go to a country where there's political unrest. Or if you can, I mean, a coup doesn't just happen overnight. There has to be the context or the environment that fosters that type of behavior. You know? So I think the key to that, to avoid those situations, is knowing who we're talking to, knowing what's going on in that nation, and avoiding those situations before they even happen. What else? Thoughts on THKMRA. Thoughts on refusing to adopt African in place of Black one. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, so you might have to retype that. Adrian Hibbett, governing systems like democracy, communism. Oh, okay, Adrian. The way that I look at governments and the way that I look at ruling or what structures you use to rule and govern yourself is sort of similar to, like, to me, government is like a big toolbox. And what tool I use depends on what I'm trying to do, if that makes any sense. Like, people talk about big government, small government, big government, small. There's going to be times where big government is the answer, and there's going to be times where small government is the answer, depending upon what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, governing systems that's a long conversation amongst a lot of skilled and talented people. It's a conversation that's going to happen, but it's one that needs to happen. And I agree with your concerns over it, because I always think about governing systems all the time. Like, in the way, like, you put democracy, communism, socialism. To me, I look at it like Bruce Lee did fighting. Like, to talk about styles, you don't get married to a style. To me, democracy is a style. Communism is a style. Socialism is a style. Bruce Lee wasn't about styles. He was about using what he needed for a specific purpose and discarding what he didn't need. So are there elements of democracy that I like? Yeah. Are there elements I don't like? Hell yeah. Are there elements of communism I like? Yeah. Are there elements I don't like? Yep. Are there elements of socialism I like? Yep. Are there elements I don't like? Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of it is going to be dependent upon the structure of our land, what's on the land, what are our resources, be it human resources or natural resources, what's the layout and structure of the land. I mean, all of that is going to play a part in what your governing system is going to be. So it's kind of a hard question to answer without the actual nation. I mean, we can guess, but we don't know. But I do know that there will be a governing system. That I do know. Because once we establish the land, we build up the infrastructure, we get a nation, I believe that that's going to be an organic process. And we'll know, just as long as we have intelligent people in place, the government is there as a tool for you to use for whatever the purpose is that you're trying to accomplish. So don't get married to democracy, because there's a lot of aspects of democracy that's bullshit. There's a lot of aspects of every ideology that's bullshit. So the question is, what are we going to do to be different than everybody else? How are we going to arrange our nation in a different way than all these other existing nations and be more successful than those nations? Because the advantage that we have is that we have history laid out before us. We know what happened in Liberia. So what lesson do we learn from Liberia? We know what happened in America. What lessons do we learn in America? We know what happened in other African countries. What lessons can we take from that? Uh, oh, Black Lily, I'm sorry to hear that. Her mom is sick. She says, please pray for her and me. Trust me, I will, because I know I've been through where you're at right now, and it's not fun. Actually, my cousin is going through the same thing with his mom, and it sucks. And I feel for you, sister. And I think I can speak for everybody where I say our thoughts and prayers are with you. Um, Clyde Lewis says a burgeoning nation may have to change. Oh, wait, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Hold on. I'm sorry, Clyde. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Richard Victor Dixon says, I got one. Maybe thinking too far ahead, but what about possible coups from natives who might be influenced by outside forces? Yeah, Richard, that's something that I was speaking about with, who was I talking? Oh, I was talking to Jonathan, actually. I don't know if Jonathan is still there, but I was talking to him about that too. It's like, this is stuff. The great thing about that is that we know how these coups happen, and we have to prevent the environment to make those things happen again. Like, I know exactly how Liberia was able, the CIA was able to infiltrate Liberia and do what they did, and we can't make the same mistake. So yeah, that's definitely on the docket, Richard. What would be the language of the nation developed in Africa? Initially English, because that's what I speak, and that's what all of us speak here in America. That's fairly obvious. Um, Whatever. Somebody answered that. Bell answered it. Sorry, thank you. I'm scrolling back up because I don't want to miss anything. Adrian Hibbett, fair enough. As long as we develop our own, then I'm good because from what I've noticed, the European ones don't seem to work for us. Yeah, it's going to be our own because we're the ones building it. We got to treat white people like they treat us. White people do not have a problem using black labor and black ingenuity and black intelligence to help build their shit. So why should we be any different? We need to stop acting as if white people are some fucking like Walker from The Walking Dead. If you come in contact with them or if they scratch you, then you become part of the war. It's not. Our culture is powerful. I don't look at our culture like a lot of these conscious community people do, like where you fear white people because the mere presence of a white person is going to take you off course of what you're supposed to be doing. Bullshit. We can use white people to help us build our shit just like they use us to help build theirs. What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? So I don't have this fear that white people is going to come in and take over African. Come on, man. That's something that I'm not even worried about because we're going to have intelligent people leading the charge. We're going to have intelligent people. You know what I'm saying? People that are versed in their history and the history of our people leading this charge. Not a bunch of bootlicking niggas that's trying to make a dime. Because if the BAIO was just about some rich niggas trying to make some money off the African continent, then I would be very concerned about white involvement. You know, if the average bootlicking, what I call them, what's that thing, Black Enterprise nigga? Remember that magazine? I don't know if it was even in existence. If those niggas was in charge of the BAIO, yeah, you should definitely be concerned about white involvement. Because they don't care about nationhood, they don't care about a future for their children. All they care about is their stock market prices. Make it a profit. Let's see. We would be the first nation in Africa not to be affected by. We would be the first nation in Africa not affected by colonial powers. Yeah. I don't see how we would be affected by colonial powers. Yes. Bell says, since we know what white people typically do, we know how to handle them. Exactly. Mr. Cat says we're going to open a BAIO MIT in our nation and have numerous whites teaching classes, and they will gladly do it for a paycheck. Yeah, because if a white person knows anything about technology and they can transfer that knowledge to my people, I would be a fucking idiot and a fool not to get that person to teach my people. The white man is not Thanos. Bell is Thanos. Remember that. The white man is not Thanos in our reality. If you since you so fascinated by Thanos, we got Bell. You can be fascinated by Bell. That's Thanos in our reality. So stop thinking that the white man is so all powerful that there's nothing you can do because he's gonna come and destroy it. The reason why y'all feel that way is because you keep trying to build shit in a fucking America. You're putting the cart before the horse. It'll be a lot easier to build in America if you have your nation state on the continent, because anything you do in America will be a satellite nation. You will have a base of operation. So that means you'll have direct trade with your nation state. That means that we'll have an actual African market. And guess what? When you have a market that you can control, you can do the same damn thing to them that they do to us, which is keep people out of your markets or charge them top dollar to be involved in it. See, tell me anybody else that's talking like that. Tell me. Tell me anybody else is talking like how we're talking. When we're talking in terms of power, we're talking about terms of controlling a country where you have markets that you control, business that you control, cartels that you control. I mean, you saw it. You saw an example of it in Wakanda. And that's just a fictional movie. But the example, the vision is right there. They had no outside influence. That was a technologically advanced nation of Africans. They controlled their land. That's why I found it so hilarious that you're making an issue about some goddamn CIA agent. And what did that CIA agent do in the movie? Didn't he help protect the interest of Wakanda by keeping the weapons inside of Wakanda? How does that benefit the government that he's working for? Him and his powerless white ass ended up helping the black people who ran that country. So he was the fucking threat? These niggas are out of their goddamn mind, man. You know what? I'm so happy that I have a group of people that I can speak to and talk to, because I'm telling you, I have zero patience for these niggas, man. I can't have a conversation with people that don't have a fucking brain. And speaking of the Black Panther, that movie, I made this point in one of my previous videos. Do you not realize all these people that love Eric Killmonger and thought that he was the guy that we should be following? Eric Killmonger's father was the biggest traitor to Wakanda. You are mad because there was a white CIA agent in Wakanda, but you ain't mad because Eric Killmonger's father gave another white man information on how to obtain the natural resources from his nation, and in the process ended up killing his own countrymen. The fool Wakabi, who sided with Eric Killmonger over his own best friend, is siding with the best friend with the man whose father was responsible for killing his parents. But I can't have these conversations where you have somebody that's a fucking mental midget, where you're a reactionary and you can't fucking think. Anyway, I'm not going to get involved in that. I already did a video on that, so I ain't going to talk about it. But you're right. Yeah, Galley one. Nobody's talking about this stuff, man. Nobody's talking. What other forum than the BAIO are you talking about internal markets? Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. We don't engage in mental midgetry. Richard says, I got one request, bro. You got to go on O'Shea's show and go eat that shit up. Some of them dudes swear they know what they talking about, but they don't have a. Yo, let me just say this, Richard. I don't know O'Shea. I've only heard him when he was on Dinah's show, and he seems like a cool dude, and he definitely seems entertaining. But it's never my goal to go into somebody else's forum and disrespect them or to try to take over or any of that shit. I would be more than willing to go into a forum and have a conversation with people. And however the conversation goes, it goes. You know, like I don't shy away when I feel um, strongly about something, or if I feel that I'm hearing something that's bullshit, I'll call it, you know. But my intention is not to go on somebody else's show to try to show out or take them. That's just the way that I approach it. Like I always keep myself respectful of other people's forums. And actually, like what Bell is saying, O'Shea is cool, but having 11 panelists is just ridiculous. If I was on a panel with 11 people, you probably wouldn't even hear me. Like I would have to do some serious sound bites in order for me to get my point across, because I'm not going to get a chance to speak with 11 people on the panel, you know? But I have absolutely no problem. As long as I'm welcomed in a forum, I have no problem going to it. No problem. So it's not like I'm anti O'Shea. I don't really know him like that, but obviously a lot of our people listen to him, so he must be cool. And like I said, I heard him on Dinah's show, and he seemed cool to me. People got, Minister had mentioned something about, he said that he's made for radio. I can't really speak to that because I haven't really listened to his show. But what people got to do is, being somebody that's from the entertainment industry and from production, I have the ability to step outside of my personal feelings and look at things objectively. I may not like somebody's content. I may not like their brand. But if I'm in production, I should be able to understand why this person is popular. What are their strong points? What is it that's making them connect with the audience that other people aren't doing. I'll give you a perfect example. If you guys can do a search or go to Stephen Colbert's, I think it's the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, or is it the Tonight Show? Is he doing the Tonight Show? I forget. One of them guys took over the Tonight, but it's Stephen Colbert. I think it's the Tonight Show, if I'm not mistaken. I think. I can't remember if Colbert took over for Letterman or oh, who took over for um Jay Leno? Is that Jimmy Fallon? I don't know. But it's Stephen Colbert. If you can do a search on Stephen Colbert, look at his last interview with Nicki Minaj. Now, you may hate Nicki Minaj. You may not buy Nicki Minaj's albums. You may not like her individually or personally. But look at that interview and you tell me whether that was entertaining or not. Whether you can understand why she's popular with people. Because keep in mind, I don't buy Nicki Minaj's music. I don't listen to her. I don't support her in any way. But I know why she's connecting with people. And that's legitimate. So you got to be able sometimes to step outside of things and just look at it objectively so you can see. It doesn't mean that you have to like it. It doesn't mean you have to approve of it. But you should at least try to understand it. That's what an intelligent person does. A reactionary person goes, I don't like you, motherfucker. I don't like it. I refuse. I refuse to listen. Man, shut the fuck up and be an adult. Grow up. Stop being a 12-year-old. I'm not emotionally invested in any of this shit. So that's the reason why I'm able to look outside of things and look at things objectively and get some perspective on things. You know, my heart doesn't start fluttering and I don't start getting all in a tizzy because there's a homosexual in the room. My thing is, there's a nationalist in the room. You should be feeling tizzy. Why should I be feeling all upset? There's a black nationalist in the room. There's an African-centered progressive in the room. You're the one that should have a problem, not me. What am I afraid of you for? You should be afraid of me. Oh, I missed Avery Hodge because I'm running my mouth. Peace, what's up, Avery? I'm sorry, I'm running my mouth here. La, 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 la. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Do you guys purposely skip my posts so you can't see them? I'm running my mouth, Avery. Guilty as charged. I'm running my mouth. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to get to your question though. Where is it? What skills are the group looking for first? All skills, Avery. All skills. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, all skills. We're looking for all skills. Because there's probably, if you're a person that knows how to sweep up shit after an elephant, there's probably somebody, you can probably teach somebody who doesn't know that skill. I don't throw away any of our skills. I don't throw away anything that you know how to do. That I believe that we can all learn from each other. I believe that there's a purpose for it. You know, this is why I don't look down on people's careers and look down on their professions, because my thing is, first of all, you got a profession. You got something that you're making money at and you're being successful at. Why am I looking down on you? You know, despite how I feel about things. People are so concerned about their little fucking feelings, as if you're feeling. They remind me of those kids. You know, those kids who get mad and they sprawl out on the floor. You know, that's what these people remind me of. You're constantly caring about your goddamn feelings, as if your feelings mean, like, if a fucking semi truck is coming down the street getting ready to hit you and you close your eyes. Oh, oh. You know what's going to happen? You're going to get flattened. You're going to be fucking dead. You think that if you pretend that the semi truck is not coming at you, that the semi truck is going to go away? Those are the type of people that care about their fucking feelings. Like, if your feelings mean something, fuck your feelings. What you should be concentrating on is what the fuck is going on? What's the objective reality? Not how you feel about it. I can feel a certain, when I get up in the morning, sometimes I feel like it's good to see the sun rising. Then there's other times where I feel like, oh shit, the fucking sun is rising. Now I got to do this shit. You think the sun cares about my feelings? Anyway. Oh, well, I can't answer any more questions because it's 11. I got to get the fuck out of here. So that's the end of this show. I hope I answered, a little bit of the questions because I know I was rambling there and going off, but you know how I do. But anyway, peace to Bell Thanos. Peace to all those people who suffered from the finger snap. I hope they remember you. I personally, I'm not gonna remember you because I don't even remember you now. So it's like that tree falling in the woods with nobody around to hear it. Did it really make a sound? Peace, Dundada. Oh, before I get off, I created a bunch of new chapters, country chapters for Africa. And also, if you're from New York, I posted in the New York chapter, I want you to take this 10-question survey if you're from New York. Bell took it. Thank you, Bell. But for some strange reason, I'm having a very difficult time getting my New York people on the same page. I created this survey because I'm trying to organize a Google Hangout and an actual meet and greet. But I can't do that if nobody fills out the goddamn survey or responds to me and lets me know what the hell is going on. Because I don't want there to be a situation where I only got, let's say, 5 or 10 people. There are over 30 people in the New York chapter. I want to get all 30 there if I can. At least 25 of them. Oh, Avery, you took it? Good. So yeah, man. Encourage the other people in the New York chapter to take it. Like if you're friends with them, tell them, hey, did you see the survey? Could you take the goddamn survey? It's 10 questions. It's really fast. It's nothing complicated. We're just trying to get an idea of what your schedule is so we can know how to arrange this shit. So that's the only thing I want to say. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you people later. Peace.